Hello, I am Paco Garcia and welcome to my show. For the last 30 odd years, I have been playing, writing and doing all sorts of things with role-playing games and board games. This is the show in which I give you my experience and my insight as a GM, a player and a convention attendee. Now, sometimes you have your adventure right here in your head and you want to put it on paper. But how do you start? How do you get on with it? Because knowing your adventure and writing it, two different things altogether. Welcome to the GMS Academy. You know, it is well known, according to her, that J.K. Rowling, she devised the whole Harry Potter series in one journey from home to work in the tube one morning. Everything was here. Everything. And then she had to write the novels. It's a different thing, isn't it? She could have told the story without having to put one single word on paper. But she wanted to write the novels, and thank goodness that she did. Now, how do you do the same when you have an adventure? Because sometimes you are absolutely anywhere and you're visiting somebody and you hear a legend, you hear an urban myth and suddenly, boom, you have an adventure in your head. But how? How do you write it down? Well, writing down adventures, it can be a tricky thing. It depends on how large those adventures are. It's a one shot that's going to last just a couple of hours and it's going to have 3 scenes. Or is it going to be a campaign with several chapters and overarching plots and subplots and people and scenes and actions and more people and more places? Well, my trick, what I tend to do when I need to write my adventures, is to put everything down in index cards. I buy a packet of index cards and they come in packets that have hundreds of them. And every single aspect that I have in my mind, every single one of them goes down in one index card. Every single one. So, for example, when I wrote my adventure From Within, which is an adventure for Cthulhu mythos themed games, I had to put down every single NPC, from the victim of the murder to the nuns around her, to what investigators, who was the murderer, who were the, servants, everything. Each one of them had one index card, just the name. It doesn't matter if you don't have any more information right away, just the name. And then do exactly the same with the locations. Once you have all that, begin to write down the descriptions. And once you have that, put them side by side and write what's the relationship between those two. So for instance, in my adventure, this young woman is murdered after she runs away from this particular man. What's the relationship between them? How did that happen? Were they in love? Did he become abusive? How did he get to kill her and why? Where was she? All those things I already knew, but you just have to start to, write them down. Divide your adventure in scenes, because a scene is a much more manageable piece of story than the whole thing, and divide that into cuts. So within a scene, say for instance that there is going to be a pursuit scene. What are the cuts? Are you going to start first with the buddies or with the goodies? And are you going to go into the car? How are you going to do that? Just cut them into very, very small chunks and write them down. Then you can put them in whatever order fits you and suits you better. But just write them down in index cards. You can move them about, you can turn them around, you can rewrite them very quickly if something is not working. You can, stick pins into them and a piece of yarn to, put them together. They work very well. There are some digital tools for brainstorming that you can use as well, and they can be very, very good because they can be very interactive. You can take them away in your laptop, in your tablet, or anywhere else. But personally, I like my index cards. I like writing things down. It feels like as soon as I write them down, I'm not gonna forget them that quickly. That's my trick for you. If you want to write your own adventure, write down everything in small chunks that then you can translate and transfer to a bigger document, whether it is by hand or in your computer. But as soon as you can get that outline, that schematics of your adventure, the likelihood is that the whole thing will just flow and work fantastically. Or at least I hope so. Thank you for being there. Let me know what your method is. How do you write your adventures? What happens? How do you do it when things become more complicated and it's not just a one-off? What happens when it is massive overarching plot for a mega campaign? How do you get that organized and written down? Because I would love to hear from you about that. Please remember to subscribe so I can show you more videos and send you the notifications when we do. Give me a thumbs up or down if you have enjoyed or not this video. And above all, please send me your comments because I would truly love to hear from you. So remember, subscribe, like and comment, and I'll see you very soon.